Jacob Marley was dead, completely, unequivocally dead. There could be no mistake about it. He had once shared a business, a name, and a brass sign with Ebenezer Scrooge. That sign still hung in place. The firm was still called Scrooge and Marley, but Marley himself had long since left the world of the living. Ebenezer Scrooge, the remaining partner, was a man carved from cold resolve, hard, sharp, and sealed shut. The frost inside him shaped his face, tightened his mouth, and sharpened his voice. His very presence seemed to lower the temperature of a room. No one stopped him for conversation. No child dared ask the time. No beggar hoped for mercy. And Scrooge, above all else, preferred it that way. On a raw and fog-laden Christmas Eve, Scrooge worked alone at his desk. Nearby, his clerk Bob Cratchit huddled in a narrow corner, trying to warm himself over a feeble fire. Suddenly, the door flew open, and in burst Scrooge's nephew, Fred, full of cheer and goodwill. "Merry Christmas, Uncle. God bless you. Will you join us for dinner tonight? For kindness' sake, if nothing else?" Scrooge bristled. Christmas, he declared, was nothing but a season of bills, false cheer, and wasted money. A time when people grew older without growing richer. He sneered that anyone babbling about Merry Christmas deserved to be boiled in their own pudding and buried with holly through their heart. Enough of this nonsense. Fred, seeing no victory to be won, wished Bob a Merry Christmas and departed kindly. Soon after, 2 respectable gentlemen arrived requesting donations for the poor. Scrooge asked whether the prisons and workhouses were still in operation. When told they were, he replied coldly that those who would rather die should do so, and decrease the surplus population. The men left, dismayed. At closing time, Scrooge reluctantly dismissed Bob for the holiday, warning him to arrive earlier the next morning. Alone, Scrooge returned to his gloomy chambers. As he placed his key in the lock, the door knocker transformed, just for a moment, into the face of Jacob Marley, pale and dreadful, glowing faintly like something seen at the bottom of dark water. Scrooge blinked, and it was gone. Inside, as he sat down to eat, a terrible sound echoed upward, a rattling, dragging clank from deep below. The noise grew louder, nearer, until a figure emerged. It was Marley's ghost, wrapped in chains forged from ledgers, locks, keys, and heavy purses. His face was worn with sorrow. "I am Jacob Marley," he said. "This chain I forged in life, link by link, choice by choice. Yours is even heavier. You have had 7 more years to make it." Marley told him he wandered the earth, doomed to witness suffering he could no longer ease. His purpose now was warning. 3 spirits, he said, would come, one at 1 o'clock, the next the following night, and the last when the final stroke of 12 had faded. With a terrible cry, Marley drifted away, joined by countless wandering phantoms, each burdened by chains of their own making. Shaken, Scrooge locked himself in and fell into an uneasy sleep. At exactly 1, he awoke. The bed curtains stirred. A gentle voice spoke, "I am the ghost of Christmas past." With a touch to Scrooge's heart, the spirit carried him backward through time. The world dissolved, and they stood on a lonely country road beside a bleak schoolhouse. Inside sat a small boy reading by a dying fire, alone, forgotten, and yet hopeful. The vision shifted. His sister Fan appeared, bright and loving, come to bring him home at last. She would one day become Fred's mother. Then came another memory, the warehouse of Fezziwig, alive with music and laughter. Work ended early, candles burned, people danced, kindness ruled the night. Scrooge watched, stirred by the joy. Someone remarked how little such happiness cost, and the words struck him hard. His thoughts turned to Bob Cratchit. The scene darkened. Belle appeared, the woman he once loved. She gently released him from their promise, saying he had chosen another idol, gold. Scrooge protested, but she was resolute. Later, he saw her again, happy with a family of her own. The sight pierced him. Unable to endure more, Scrooge struggled with the spirit and smothered its glowing light. Darkness closed in, and he fell once more into sleep. Again the clock struck 1. A radiant presence filled the next room. The ghost of Christmas present appeared, crowned with greenery, seated amid abundance. The air shimmered with warmth. "Come in," the spirit seemed to say. They traveled across the land, to miners gathered around a fire, to lighthouse keepers battered by waves, to sailors far at sea, all sharing Christmas in their own way. Then they arrived at Bob Cratchit's humble home. Laughter filled the room. A small goose was prepared with great care. Tiny Tim entered, frail and gentle, supported by his crutch. Scrooge's heart tightened. "Will the child live?" he asked. The spirit echoed his own cruel words back to him. If he be like to die, he had better do it. Scrooge bowed his head in shame. They went on to Fred's house, alive with laughter. Guests spoke of Scrooge not in anger, but in pity. Fred toasted his uncle with kindness. Scrooge longed to speak, but could not. The spirit suddenly aged. Beneath its robe emerged two wretched children, a boy and a girl. "This is ignorance. This is want," the spirit warned. "Beware them both, but most of all the boy, for doom is written on his brow." The clock struck 12. The spirit vanished. A new presence appeared, silent, towering, cloaked in black. The ghost of Christmas yet to come pointed forward without a word. Scrooge saw businessmen discussing a man's death with indifference. No one mourned him. In a filthy shop, thieves sold the dead man's belongings, even the curtains from his bed. Horror filled Scrooge's heart. They came to a dark room where a body lay alone beneath a sheet. Scrooge could not bring himself to look. "This man is me, isn't he?" They next visited a poor home where a family rejoiced quietly, not in joy, but in relief. Their creditor was dead, giving them time to breathe. His name was never spoken. Then they came to the Cratchit house. Silence filled the room. Tiny Tim was gone. Bob spoke softly of his boy, trying to be brave. Grief hung in the air like winter fog. At last, the spirit led Scrooge to a grave bearing his own name, Ebenezer Scrooge. He fell to his knees. "I will change. I will honor Christmas in my heart. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. Do not leave me like this." The phantom shrank, dark folds collapsing into a bedpost. Scrooge awoke, alive, laughing, crying, free. It was Christmas morning. He sent a boy racing for the largest turkey in the shop. He gave generously to charity. He walked the streets with wonder in his eyes. He joined Fred's celebration and laughed until his sides ached. The next morning, he arrived early at the office. When Bob came late, Scrooge pretended to scold him, then announced a raise and promised to help his family. Bob could scarcely believe it. From that day on, Scrooge kept his word. He became generous, compassionate, and kind. He became a second father to Tiny Tim, who did not die, and a friend to all. Some laughed at the change, but Scrooge cared little. He knew that good is often met with laughter by those who fear it. And so it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, and that Tiny Tim, who lived and grew strong, said softly, "God bless us everyone."